So I'm curious about because you had 2 back-to-back ACL injuries, which is like, man, like anybody who's had an ACL injury, it's like a defining moment because it's just like it's a heartbreak. Like you're out for so long, you got to go through the rehab process. You know, you in theory like lose all these gains, right? And like, so how was like the mental aspect of that? I mean, especially because it was like during that time you were just starting to get into it, you know, fitness really and enjoying it. So how was that, especially like twice on the same knee, right? And it was just healed, correct?
Yeah, so it was a pretty unfortunate event, but so I tore it in December 2017, and then I got the surgery in February, and I recovered 5 months and was on a mission trip, and then I had it retorn in July, like late June I think, and then I got it repaired mid-July. So pretty much I had gone through 5 months of recovery, and I just started running again. Like I was really feeling like myself. I was able to do other workouts and then just had it all taken away like that. And if anybody else has had like an ACL tear, it's like you hear a pop, it's your ACL pretty much snapping pretty much, and you hear a pop and it like vibrates up your whole body. It's like a really awesome feeling. No, it's horrible. Like you know exactly what happened as soon as it happened. So it was funny because I tore my ACL and then my sister tore her ACL and then I re-tore my ACL. So it was like we had a lot of knee injuries in like a short span of time. But yeah, the first ACL tear was honestly really, really hard. It was the first time I'd been actually injured, and I felt like so much was being taken away from me. I was like, this is so unfair. Like I was missing my final track season. I was in a school musical called Rock and Roll, and I loved it. I was a dancer in it. It was like one of the most fun things I've ever done. And I got that taken away from me, so I couldn't do that. And I was like, this is so unfair. Like, what the heck? Like, why is this happening to me in my senior year of high school? High school is the best day ever. But it's like, in reality, like in retrospect, it taught me like almost independence. Because I think for such a long time, I was so reliant on like other people that I had never just like felt like pain and been like, okay, like this is how it is right now. Like you're sad and that's okay. And I think through there, like my therapy really became going back to the gym because I remember I had been lifting and my buddy Waleed came over and was like, yo, dude, what happened to your neck? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, dude, your neck, it's just like, it's so long now because like pretty much my shoulders had like shrank down.
Oh, yeah.
From like atrophy of just like over time not going to the gym. So like that kind of like, he always makes jokes about it now, but like he doesn't understand like that was a good thing for me. Like that was motivation in the spot of like, okay, cool. Like, people are noticing something and I don't want to feel like I'm weak and incapable.
Right.
I don't feel like, I don't even know if I'm on topic right now, but like, am I still on track?
No, you're still on track pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. But so when you like get injured, you are pretty much being served constantly. Like you feel like you're getting handouts all the time. People will hold the door for you, crutches, which sounds so stupid. But like, you don't want that. You're just like, please just let me do my own thing. Like I can do it. I'm fine. And then you try to open the door and drop your crutch and it's like a whole scene. But the idea of like conquering something on my own, I wanted that satisfaction so badly.
Right.
So I think I'd turn that energy towards the gym. And like me and my friend Grady would go to the gym every single day. And I was skipping leg day, yes, because I couldn't work legs. But I was going every single day. And pretty much I just put all my energy in that, and I got in really, really good shape off of my like best shape I had ever been in my life in that moment, right off of my first surgery. And I was like strong. I felt great. I was like, wow, like I really just turned that around into something so amazing. And I was on such a high. Yeah. And then I got retorn like right in the peak of that. So when I got retorn, I was like, I knew it got retorn immediately. And it was a weird spot because I was at a mission trip. And it was like the second to last day. And like everyone was in everyone was in this field. And like, apparently I got tackled and I just screamed. I was like, ah, and then like it got quiet and everyone like huddled around me. And I just remember like sitting there and I like looked up and was like, oh, wow, that's a lot of people. And everyone's like, is that your bad knee? I was like, yeah, it's my bad knee. And they're like, is it okay? I was like, I just tweaked it. But like, I heard the pop again. So I knew I retore it immediately. So I just kind of like walked it off and I just sucked it up for like the next 2 days, got home and was like, I had to tell my parents, I think I retore it. My sister cried, which was cool on her part. Like, I don't know. It was cool to feel like somebody was hurting for me when I was like trying to act like it was okay. But I don't know. I came off the second one even stronger though.
Yeah, man. I want to stop
Sorry,
you.
go ahead.
I want to stop you real quick because I remember when I reached out to you after I'd heard you retour it, and or maybe we were like in person or whatever. But I remember like talking to you the second time you did it, and I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like that must suck. And you were very like at peace with it, and you were very like accepting of the fact that like, man, it's all good. Like this happens, which was so interesting for me because when people tear their ACL, once, let alone twice, it's always like the worst thing that ever happens to them at the time. So walk me through your mindset like the second time it happened, because it seemed like you were like very much like at peace with it and knew that this was just like what you had to deal with, which is hard.
Yeah, so the first time I was when I realized like things happen for a reason, and I live by that. Like that's my motto. Like whenever something happens, I'm like, it happens. It is what it is. Shout out Max Holloway. But pretty much from there, I was like, it happened, and I was like, this happened for a reason. And I just knew how to conquer it already. I was like, this is a hill, like a mountain I've already climbed before. This is easy. I know the path. So I was more resilient with it for sure. My mindset was a lot stronger, and like I just knew I could do more with it than I'd done the first time. The first time I was very careful with it. This time I'm like, no, I know I just need to get my strength back.
Right.
So I was a lot more I wasn't letting things hold me back. I wasn't like feeling sorry for myself and sitting in my basement for like weeks on end. Like after like my 4th day of surgery, I was like, I already went out with a couple friends, and I just like I sat there, but I went out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to let like the surgery control me this time. So I really feel like this one helped shape me in the idea of that regardless of what's happening, I still had control. Like as I was saying, like I wanted control, and I feel like that's where a lot of stress and anxiety for people comes from.
Right,
So the idea of keeping control with the gym, keeping control with like maintaining my social life helped me feel like I had this thing under control too. Like my leg was still within my grasp and like still within my capability to heal it. I don't know if that made any sense, but
No, that makes sense.